Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching SOULCASTER. I'm Michael 7 Michael. And we've got with us today Megan. How you doing, Megan?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. We're alive. We are alive. So things are happening over here. So this is part 2. We're talking about Moldavite. So let's talk about some of the stories of Moldavite. Let's talk about some of the things that people have said that happened with them, and whether it's true or not, you be the judge.
Okay.
Awesome. So first, let's go with one of the folklore. So they say that Moldavite came from outer space, and it was a result of the war between God and the devil. If you go into what they call it, the Judeo-Christian history, when Saint Michael defeated the devil, he basically knocked one of the jewels out of Satan's crown, and that jewel was the asteroid or meteorite that hit the earth that created Moldavite.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Have you heard that before?
I never heard that. No.
Yeah.
Wow. It makes sense.
Mind blown, right?
Totally. Wow.
The next one would be the Holy Grail was made out of Moldavite.
Really?
Wow. It's why when it captured the blood of Jesus, why it was so powerful and potent.
Because it was amplified.
Because it was amplified.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
now
cool.
you go. I know. I hit you hard with those.
You did.
I just kind of jumped in. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know those folk stories. I knew it was a meteor, that hit the earth and transformed into what we know it as today. I know it more on different accounts of how people have experienced it.
Okay, let's go.
So I have a friend who actually turned me on to the gem essence, which we were talking about earlier, and because he was telling me this story about how he was, he's anti-drugs, anti-hallucinogenics, he was like, so the way that I get my downloads is I work with Moldavite, and I had never heard of it before. I was like, Moldavite, what's that? And he was like, oh, and so he let me tell you about Moldavite, and he had a Smeagol moment,
Yeah.
or Gollum, actually.
Everybody has that with
And it's so beautiful. Look how beautifully it turns into that deep green. So he told me this story about how you have to be really careful what kind of creature you give Moldavite access to. And I was like, this sounds like a really epic stone, And he had the gem essence. He had taken it a couple of drops. You don't need very much. It's very strong. And he was planning on going for a walk through the woods and just getting downloads of whatever he was meant to receive from his ancestors or whatever. And as he was putting this gem essence away, he dropped it, and it cracked open. His dog ran over and lapped it all up. And he just kind of stood there and was like, okay, well, this is going to be a really interesting walk.
Oh, wow.
The dog literally, he was like a 1 ounce bottle of Moldavite. And he took 2 drops. The dog drank the rest.
Wow.
And I cannot show you how much joy was on my face when I was listening to him tell the story, because he impersonated the dog frolicking through the woods, with its tongue flapping in the wind,
Wow.
and it was howling and singing along with the trees and the birds and rolling around in the mud and just euphoric. The dog literally went into euphoria because of the Moldavite. And then he said it turned into more of him not really getting a download, but more of him chasing the dog through the woods because he thought the dog was going to just disappear into the sunset. And then he had this beautiful experience where the dog led him to this waterfall, and they sat, and then they both just sat in stillness, and he received this incredible download from his ancestors.
Wow.
So it wouldn't have happened if he hadn't followed his dog to that particular location. Which I thought was a really beautiful journey.
That is beautiful.
My dog got high on Moldavite.
The connection, if you allow it, between any living thing, could teach you things and guide you, especially pets.
Totally. They're so much more open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the gentlemen that was actually famous for bringing Moldavite to the public, and there's very few books on it, but he kind of started the trend. Go online, he talks about how when he started to get closer and more open to the gemstone, because he bought a whole bunch. And I want to make it very clear, you don't need a whole bunch to travel, to when I mean travel, like spiritually travel or downloads or anything like that. Just a small piece like this is fine, just to get perspective. It's like super small here. But that's all you really need. This is kind of OD.
Yeah.
So, but he in short, he stopped drinking.
Amazing.
It just kind of changed his whole outlook on life. He had a business that flopped, and now he has one of the most successful, largest businesses selling crystals and other pieces. He actually had a nice chunk about this big.
Wow.
That he had for years, and he sold it. It was like the one piece that like kind of started the whole journey. I think he sold it for $60,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God.
So that's...
I wouldn't want to let go of something like that.
No, but you know what? In a way, at the end of the day, we're going to let all this go.
That's true.
So I think with that consciousness, he said, you know what?
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Hopefully the person bought it. It's not in a box somewhere just to say,
I have this thing.
I have
Hopefully
this
they're
thing.
working with it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Crystals do come and go though, as you need them, which I find really interesting. They just,
Moldavite will run away from you.
yeah, it will. Yeah.
Like for real.
Yeah.
I have another piece that definitely. Where did you go? You were right next to me. Where did you go? They tend to disappear.
Yeah.
Now there was someone online that gave a story of how they were meditating and they saw an alien and spoke to an alien. So that was interesting. There's another story where someone said they had an out-of-body experience. First time meditating with Moldavite.
That's awesome.
So all these things, I was not there. I do not know. I can't say it didn't happen. But these are some of the things that are associated with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really profound stone.
Really profound.
Yeah.
So I think we hit you with some bangers. I don't scare the public. But no, we definitely had to do a part 2 because there's more to it. But again, I don't want anyone be afraid of the stone.
No, but be respectful.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best way to.
Oh, I do have one more before I go.
Okay.
So, a name that shall not be named. I met someone that, that's a nice ring you have. Like I was saying it to them, and when you first get to Moldavite, you start every piece. You just kind of like, is that Moldavite? That Moldavite?
Yeah.
So, and like, yeah, it is. Do you want me to read your past lives or what all this other stuff? And I was like, whoa, hey, I just asked you about the ring.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I won't give it all to crystals, but because they amplify your energy and your consciousness, my pieces were just like, do not interview this person. Do not put them on your show. But why? They read cards. They allegedly tap into the Akashic records. They do all this other stuff. And I think they have like a school that's it's like, nope, they are a charlatan. They have a little bit of gifts, and they and I was like, it just kept, that was the download I kept getting.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes crystals will out you out. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I think Moldavite is definitely one that will do that. Be like, oh no. Transition doesn't also mean changing, but also means like changing the path. Like, do not go down that road.
Yeah. Totally.
So
yeah.
Hopefully whoever's out there take that for whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, when something says don't work with someone or don't promote, you got to be careful what you're promoting, what you're pushing.
Listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's amazing.
Do you have any words of wisdom?
Well, I think it makes sense because crystals have, especially like Moldavite, it's so old, you know, they have an intelligence to them, you know, so trust that collective consciousness, that universal language, you know, that they are speaking and whispering to you, you know, so the more you listen, the more you'll learn and receive, and the more they can help you. So it's really cool that we have that available to us, and they're willing.
It's a beautiful gift. It's a gift.
It really is.
Yeah.
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 Totally.
Yeah. And actually, that's one of the things too. They were saying that, like, you know, especially the few that are extraterrestrial and terrestrial, that they were basically gifts.
Yeah.
There's actually a new crystal that was found in New Zealand, and it's gaining popularity. I'd find the name and maybe see if we could do a show on it.
Okay.
And it's one of those where they say that it's something new, but it's been there for a long time. People just found it. There's actually a story where it disappeared. Someone moved, and it was in a box mailed to them. Like, it was like some ridiculous story that you just like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
But it's one of those, this is a gift for the world, and you need to share it.
Wow.
So,
that's interesting.
So, and I think all these are tools, they're gifts to share, and they're not secrets, you know.
Yeah.
But it's what you do with them, because you could buy all the, you know, you could have a rainbow list of crystals and still have a very sucky earth experience.
Yeah.
It's not going to save the day.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to challenge yourself too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't rely on just them, but they're willing to help you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, thanks again, everybody. You're watching SOULCASTER. I'm Michael Seven Michael, and we will continue to share our knowledge, our experiences about spiritual tools, and have spiritual conversations. Awesome.